All right, sequence 1. We start off with a low lunge, and that's again just to reinforce, so the toes are tucked under, and this is a readiness. So part of the core again is it's going to take our energy and move it. So in this position, especially thinking core, I could be able to move almost anywhere. Like I could be able to stand up or move sideways because there's pelvic floor is working, glutes are working, front of the abdominals are working, the ilios, so all of it's contributing so I could move. From here, I'm just going to move into one-legged plank, which is a nice transition. I've already got the container held together, hands down, slide back, one-legged plank. Now we're going to stress the core a little bit by coming into an abduction. So bringing the leg out to the side, just like we did in dolphin. We already introduced this concept, but this is more load now. Because we're not at a diagonal like this in dolphin, we're fully horizontal, which is going to have gravity pushing right down on us. So we'll do that a few times, then we lower all the way. Cobra, pull back, keep the low belly engaged. That's not engaged. We got to lift it up, and then down dog, and we walk back for a happy squat. So we walk back, we've done this before, and teach hip flexion. So put the fingers there, if needed, opening up the back. We walk forward again, plank. So we're starting to stress the core, moving on our hands. This is always going to put more demand on the core. Sit back, happy squat. Belly is to the thighs. So if you see somebody with the belly away from the thighs, they're bending more in their back. Get them in their hip flexors. Walk it forward. You want to turn up and dial up the core and stress it. You know we're going to be on our hands a lot. Come back again. And then after this last time, we're going to baby bear walk. So we just get again in the habit of the feet and the hands moving and the core in between stabilizing. So we baby bear walk to the front, and then we come up into chair. So we've already done essentially chair at the back, but the belly was on the thighs. Now we bring it off the thighs, and then we bring the hands in prayer. So we've already cued our people. We twist a few inches to the left, sit back more in the glutes, and then to the right. So pelvis doesn't change. We're flexing in the hips and then turning in the rib cage a little bit using the obliques. So we do that a few times, alternating, and then we'll hold the right elbow on the left thigh, not across it, but on it. Unweight the right leg and bring that right leg back. Holding there, and you want to watch that shoulder that it doesn't drop in, but use, this is all core, glutes, obliques, pelvic floor, getting deep into the hip flexors. Serratus is helping stabilize, rotator cuff is helping stabilize. One more breath, and then we'll windmill to the back of the mat for the second side. So the second side is the low lunge. Always can bring the hands here and then the arms up if that feels better. But make sure the left glute is on, the feeling of the pelvic floor. How do people feel their pelvic floor? Well, besides putting their hands there, they're going to lightly squeeze in with the sit bones underneath and draw that all up. Draw the space between the ASIS together and back. Hands to the floor. Nothing changes here, so you don't want them to lose that as they come into one-legged plank. Bring it out to the side. Now, what's the other thing you're working on besides stressing the core is not stressing the neck. So the neck has to be in this alignment. The neck can really throw off the demand on the core. Then we'll lower to the floor. So I'm going to show you from this angle. Cobra is not, the belly doesn't stay pushing down. I'm pulling the belly up as I move my hands back. This is going to load the back too much. So one more time, pull back with your hands. The glutes are on, and I'm lifting the belly so it doesn't stay on the floor. It can lift off. If you get up that high, it might stay on the floor, but if you're getting up high enough and not letting the belly help you, then you're going to push too much into the back. We walk into down dog. We go back into our happy squat. Always can do that. Fingers in the hip crease. And then we just think, I'm unfolding it. stressing the core to hold me, not droop me. Walk back, low belly is pulled in, sit, walk forward. Every time the hand comes down, that engages the shoulder girdle part of the core. Last time, we walk it forward, our happy baby bear. And then we come into Utkatasana, check in again, sitting into the hip flexors. This movement is so important for people to understand to activate the core well, not tip. We do our prayer and we sit back more. Back more. You can cue people not to watch the knees going forward. They're going back. We'll hold it to the right, left elbow on the right thigh. Step it back, left glute is on, left obliques are kicking in a lot. We're not overly turning, that can turn everything off actually. And then windmill to the back, front of the back, step. Okay? So that just lit up a lot of stuff. It put more demand on the core for the movement in one-legged plank. It put more demand on the core when we stepped back from our prayer twist. Because you're stepping back, you have to hold that strong. It put more demand when we were walking on our hands. Anytime you're getting on your hands, lights up the core like crazy.